from hell with love. Petrous, I stood, frozen in time, frozen in space. I heard it, heard something. I could feel its eyes boring into the back of my skull. I could feel a warm, tremulous breath whisking against the nape of my neck, raising tiny filaments, downy hairs most people forgot even existed. I could feel the presence of something close, so close, too close. There was a shift in the air, in the pressure around me, from that dreary frigidity that comes with winter's onset, that same wintry weather that allowed the unseen to be seen, with the fog of breath rising as if steam from a gaping maw. That cloud that billowed up before my eyes disappeared with the rising temperature, and soon I could feel the heat caressing my skin, feel sweat trickle between my shoulder blades, form at the base of my throat, where it seemed my heart had found occasion to rise. In that moment, I was the embodiment of terror, and yet the instinct to flee or fight was not activated. Instead, and as was always sadly the case, curiosity overrode any logical action. Instead of running for dear life, instead of slowly reaching into my pocket to find my keys, I wanted to turn. I wanted to face whatever it was, with eyes wide open. Even as every single synapse that fired in my brain made my body tingle with the need to run, to arm myself to do anything but be a willing observer to my own potential and rather untimely demise. My life does not flash before my eyes, and I wonder for a moment if it's because there is so little to note that the reel is just too short to be fed through the projector. And at the same time, I have a very distinct feeling right there, right in the pit of my gut, that all of that is about to change. Life, as I knew it, would never be the same. My flesh feels like it seems to be a flame burning with anticipation, and somewhat else as I subject myself to temptation and release myself from my immobile state, turning slowly, only to be struck motionless by the sudden brush of something sumptuous against my skin. A sensation that feels like the soft warmth of thick fur tickling flesh. I gasp. I can't help it. And the air I breathe burns my lungs like a plume of smoke from a lit cigarette until I am stifling a cough. My heartbeat trips, and then it makes up for lost time. The voices in my head grow louder, urging, begging me to run. To forget the keys in my pocket, to forget curiosity and the splendor of sating the desire for an answer, and to take my life into my own hands and just run. But my head is already turning. Blocks shift across my shoulders, wisping ends of curled tendrils, the color of midnight shuddering in the effulgent light of the milky full moon, making hair gleam the darkest of blues. I swallow down a large lump, risen in my throat. That heart of mine again, trying to escape. No doubt an attempt to save itself. And finally, I turn to find nothing. I know that I should feel relieved, but instead, bright eyes widen beneath arching brows and confusion contorts my face almost into a comical caricature of that very emotion. There's nothing. No furry animal, no creature, no demon, no beast, no man, no woman, no child. There's nothing. Not even the glimmer of a phantom shifting in its erstwhile temporal existence. Just nothing. Until... Wait, what? A glance downward pulls my features into something akin to incredulity. Brows furrow, eyes narrow, and I feel a sense of disappointment, though, that is quickly overtaken by the eerie shiver running the length of my spine as realization dawns on me. Because I know too well that what remains there was not there before. And I can't help but wonder who left it there, and how they managed to disappear so quickly. Not to mention that trick with the heat. Stooping, I rest my rear on my heeled feet, getting down to its level to get a closer look. My head quirks just slightly as I smooth my hands over thighs to knees, silk stockings reminding me that I was on my way somewhere and that I was now running late. My fingers inch closer and closer still, smoothing over the bumps of my knees to caress down shins, reaching as if nonchalantly but curiously for the peculiar object, until my fingers seize it and pluck it from the ground with a deep, harsh breath, expecting the worst. It is not alive. A stuffed animal. Something of a dog. A three-headed wolf with one body, one tail, and fur so soft and dense it couldn't possibly have been fake. So black it would stand out even against the night sky. And eyes so blue they were almost white. Oh, and it was warm, poised as if seated, a long, bushy tail that my fingertips toyed with idly as I brought it close to my face and smelled it. Wet dog. I laughed and murmured the words sardonically into the night, though it wasn't wet at all, and under that scent there was something else that reminded me of birthdays, and indeed my own, which I was missing because of some stuffed animal. But gleaming metal caught my eye, and there, about the neck of the middle head, circled a thin chain, the color of bronze with a smooth, flat nameplate. It reminded me of an ID bracelet that passed in faded fad from my childhood. I brought it close so I could see. the pad of my thumb running over the letters etched there. I could see, but I squinted nonetheless as I tried to make sense of the letters. Soriya. Soriya? But that's my name.